Hmm. Are we ready? Oh, yeah. I have coffee. It's 5 minutes after 6. I suspect we're going to have some wonderful things to discover in Acts chapter 23. So let's see if we can figure this thing out. Let's see here. Hang on. Got to get my little thing set up here. Go ahead and grab your coffee while I'm screwing around. I think I want that to be a bit bigger, so let's. There. Can you see it better? Mm-hmm. There's the invite. In case I need help from the public at large. Okay. Now, we're in Acts 23. Now, Paul has just been harassed and captured and jailed by those religious leaders, because they're so wise and smart, pure of heart, And it looks like trouble for Paul, but then Paul reveals to the jail boss that he is a Roman citizen, and this changes everything. And as I recall, let me see here. Let me bring up Acts 22 on my own screen. As I recall, I'll read it to you. It won't be on the screen there. The captain orders him to be led into the citadel, telling them to interrogate him by scourging, that he may recognize for what cause they retorted thus at him. Now, as they stretch him before the thongs, in other words, getting ready to beat him, Paul said to the centurion standing by, "Is it allowed you to scourge a Roman man and uncondemned?" Now, on hearing this, the centurion, coming to the captain, reports saying, "What are you about to be doing? For this man is a Roman." Now approaching, the captain said to him, "Tell me, are you a Roman?" Now Paul averred, "Yes." And the captain answered, "With a vast sum of money I acquired my citizenship." Yet Paul says, "Yet I have been born so." I was born a Roman. Anyway, being born a Roman is a higher status than if you buy Roman citizenship. Yet, 29, immediately, of chapter 22, verse 29, immediately, then those about to be interrogating him withdraw from him. Now the captain also was afraid, recognizing that he is a Roman and that he was bound by him. Now on the morrow, resolved to know the certainty of that which he is being accused by the Jews, he looses him and orders the chief priests and the entire Sanhedrin to come together. And leading Paul down, he stands him among them. And that's where we're going to begin. So Paul is standing before the Sanhedrin. What's that? Probably the Jewish court type of thing, right? Okay, chapter 23. Now, looking intently at the Sanhedrin, Paul said, Men, brethren, I, in all good conscience, have used my citizenship for God until this day. So, what do you got to say to me? Anyway, verse 2. Now, the chief priest, Ananias, enjoins those standing beside him to beat his mouth. What the hell is the chief priest doing this for? Beat Paul's mouth because he said, I use my citizenship for God? In other words, shut him up. Seriously, shut him up. Then Paul said to him, God is about to beat you, you whitewashed wall. And you are sitting to judge me according to the law, and illegally you are ordering me to be beaten? Now, those standing by say, the chief priests of God you are reviling. They're freaking out because Paul spoke up to the chief priest and called him a whitewashed wall. See here, whitewashed wall. That must be some awful kind of insult at that time. A wall doesn't go anywhere. A whitewashed wall looks good. Is that kind of saying like you're useless? God is about to beat you, whitewashed wall. And you are sitting to judge me according to the law, and illegally you are ordering me to be beaten. Now, those standing by say, the chief priests of God you are reviling. And Paul averred, I was not aware, brethren, that he is the chief priest, for it is written that of your people's chief you shall not declare evil. Now, I underline this right here, for it is written, because I thought it was intriguing, and it's intriguing that everybody, even in our culture, our day, if something is written, it's special, If it's just an oral tradition, it's not as special. But if you write it down, oh my God! I can remember growing up in the '60s, teenager in the '60s, and even in our family, and we didn't love books in our family. We were, blue collar at best as far as class. I grew up on a farm. And we did not love books. We didn't have, there might have been a couple of Bibles, and I don't even think we had a cheesy encyclopedia in our house. I don't remember any books, actually, other than a few Bibles that each of us had. But we might have had magazines. But anyway, there was still this culture in our house, and I remember it being said that, well, it's in a book, so you can trust it, you can believe it. It took me a while as I was growing up to realize it didn't, just because it's written down doesn't mean it's anything special. Just because it's written down, it can still be a bunch of hooey, a lie, a false report, just a strict opinion. But just because it's written, we respected it. We thought that was special, especially since we weren't writers, much less readers at that time. I went on to become a great reader. Okay, so, for it is written, of your people's chief you shall not be declaring evil. Now, Paul, knowing that one party is of the Sadducees and yet the other of the Pharisees, he's going to play them against each other. He cries in the Sanhedrin, "Men, brethren, a Pharisee, a son of Pharisees am I, concerning the expectation and resurrection of the dead am I being judged." And this is the truth of the matter, right? This is what, a double entendre that Paul is doing here? He knows that the Pharisees believe in the resurrection and the Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection, so he's pitting them against each other. But he's really all about the resurrection of Christ. So that's why I say this, to me, looks like he's doing a double entendre, getting them all jazzed up, but really maybe he's setting them up to really talk about the resurrection of Christ, okay? A Pharisee and the son of a Pharisee am I, concerning the expectation and resurrection of the dead am I being judged. Now at his saying this, there came to be a great commotion of the Pharisees and Sadducees, and the multitude is rent. They're torn. They're pissed at each other. They're starting to get upset. Here we go. Verse 8, for the Sadducees indeed are saying there is no resurrection, nor messenger, nor spirit. Yet the Pharisees are avowing both the resurrection and messengers or spirits. Okay? So the Sadducees were religious, what? Just for the power? And they were religious just for the hell of it? For the pride of it? But they didn't see any future. They thought, when you're dead, you're dead. But the Pharisees, they entertained the thought that there is a resurrection and there are messenger beings or spirit beings. There are things bigger than what we know and can prove yet. Anyway, so the Pharisees love both, and the Sadducees are really intellectuals, and they poo-poo the big idea altogether. But they're both in power, right? And they are competing for power. Verse 9, now a great clamor occurred, and rising, some of the scribes of the party of the Pharisees fought it out with one another, saying, nothing evil are we finding in this man. Now if a spirit or messenger speaks to him, ... Anyway, it's yet much commotion occurring. Being afraid, the captain, so Paul should not be pulled to pieces by these guys, orders the troop to descend and snatch him out of their midst. Besides, to lead him into the citadel. Now, the ensuing night, standing by him, the Lord said, courage, courage, for as you certify to that which concerns me in Jerusalem, thus you must testify in Rome also. Wow. Wow. I think this is wildly important. Let's go over it again. So that Paul should not be pulled to pieces by the Pharisees and the Sadducees, duking it out over him, he orders the troops to descend and snatch Paul out of their midst, and leading him to the citadel. Now on the ensuing night, standing by him, the Lord said, courage, boy, for as you certify to that which concerns me in Jerusalem, thus you must testify in Rome also. Wow. Rome is the hot city of the world at that time. Paul is going to Rome. It's not a vacation. Looks like he's going to go there in chains still. It's a working vacation. It's the work of the Lord. Verse 12. Now, day coming on, making a conspiracy, the Jews anathematized themselves, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they should kill Paul. I wonder if they're still kind of hungry and thirsty. In other words, they meant to do it fast because, they can't survive without drinking for very long. A couple of days, maybe. They're going to kill him within days. They got to get back to eating and drinking pretty soon. But they anathematized themselves. And that word anathema, what? What does it mean? We are cutting ourselves off until we kill Paul. Verse 13. Now, there were more than 40 who make this cabal. 40. Now, there were more than 40 who make this cabal, who coming to the chief priest and elders say, with an anathema we anathematize ourselves to taste nothing until we should kill Paul. Why are they so upset? The religious folks in our world are mean. These guys are deadly. They're like the Karens of their day. Now then, you inform the captain together with the Sanhedrin so that he may be leading him down to you as being about to investigate more exactly that which concerns him. Yet we, before he draws near, are ready to assassinate him. Now the son of Paul's sister, hearing of the ambush coming along and entered into the citadel, reports it to Paul. Now Paul, calling one of the centurions to him, averred, lead this young man away to the captain, for he has something to report to him. He indeed then, taking him along, led him to the captain, and is averring, the prisoner Paul, calling me to him, asked me to lead this youth to you, who has something to speak to you. Now the captain, being a smart dude, taking hold of his hand of this boy, and retiring privately, inquired to ascertain, what is it that you have to report to me? Now he said that, quote, the Jews agreed to ask you so that you may lead Paul down tomorrow into the Sanhedrin as being about to ascertain something somewhat more exactly concerning him. You then should not be persuaded by them, for they are ambushing for him more than 40 of their men, who anathematize themselves neither to eat nor drink till they may be assassinating him. And now they are ready, anticipating the promise from you. Indeed, then, the captain dismisses the youth, charging him to no one speak out that you disclosed these things to me. And calling a certain 2 of the centurions to him, he said, make ready 200 soldiers so that they may go as far as Caesarea, and 70 cavalry and 200 slingers from the 3rd hour of the night. This guy's serious about protecting Paul. So it's 40 dudes who are there conspiring to assassinate him, and to stand up against the 40. This captain is not taking any chances. 200 soldiers, 70 cavalrymen, and 200 slingers. Oh, man. This sounds like God really wants to protect him and is using this captain to make sure he gets to Rome alive. Verse 24, besides, present beast that mounting Paul, they should be bringing him safely through to Felix the governor. And he writes a letter having this model. Claudius Silas, Lysias, Claudius Lysias, to the most mighty governor Felix, rejoice. Yeah, Felix, rejoice. I'm about to lay some trouble on you, baby. This man being apprehended by the Jews and about to be assassinated by them, standing by with the troop, I extricate him, learning that he is a Roman, besides, intending to get to know the charge because of which they indict him. I led him down to their Sanhedrin. Him I found being indicted concerning questions of their law, yet having nothing deserving death or bonds in the indictment. Now, at its being divulged to me that there will be a plot against the man, forthwith I send him to you, Felix. He's your responsibility now. I send him to you, charging the accusers also to speak against him before you. Farewell. In other words, sincerely yours, sucker. Okay, so verse 31. The soldiers indeed then, according to that which has been prescribed to them, taking up Paul, led him through the night into Antipatris. Now on the morrow they return into the citadel, leaving the cavalry to come away with him, who then, entering into Caesarea and giving up the letter to the governor, presents Paul also to him. Now reading it and inquiring of what prefecture he is, and ascertaining that he is from Cilicia, quote, I shall give you a hearing, he averred, whenever your accusers also may be coming along, ordering him to be guarded in Herod's praetorium. And that's the end of 23. Can you feel the drama? Oh yeah. There is your little connection should you want to come in and share the love concerning this beloved passage here. And if you don't mind, we'll take a look at 24. Because, we need a commercial break, right? Now, after 5 days, Ananias, the chief priest, must have been a popular name at that time. We've so far in the book of Acts, I think we've met 3 Ananiases. Now, after 5 days, Ananias, the chief priest, descended with some elders and an orator, a certain Tertullus. Why does he need an orator? Can't he handle himself? Oh, he's just power hungry, and he's got a spokesman. He loves the power, but he's not a good orator, maybe. So this Tertullus and the chief priest, who informed the governor against Paul. Now at his being called, Tertullus began to accuse him, saying, happening upon much peace through you and reforms in this nation, coming to be through your providence, both in every way and everywhere, we are welcoming it, most mighty Felix, with all thankfulness. Can you hear the bullshit in this? He's kissing up to the Roman governor by saying, we're happy that you're ruling us. You know the Jews weren't happy about that crap, but I guess they like to hear it anyway. So let's hear it again, as if we are Felix, right? Hey, say it again. Happening upon much peace through you, O Felix, and reforms in this nation, coming to be through your providence, O Felix, Governor baby. We love you, baby. Both in every way and everywhere, we are welcoming your rulership, most mighty Felix, with all thankfulness. Brown nosers to boot, man. They're not only wanting to kill Paul because, Paul is just detracting attention from them. Now they're kissing up to Felix, who's, you could say he's more of an enemy than Paul is to them. Maybe it's because of Felix that they are in power. And, so they're buddies together because that's the way religious organizations go throughout history. They get buddy with the government itself, right? The Church of England was all about the government of England. The Catholics was all about the government of Italy. Now, verse 4. Now, lest I may be hindering you still more, I am entreating you to hear us concisely in your leniency, for finding this man a pestilence and a stirrer of insurrections among all the Jews. Oh my God. Do you hear this? Brothers and sisters, we like Paul. We love what Paul wrote in his letters to the ecclesias. And here he is accused of being a pestilence and a stirrer of insurrections. Oh my God. And indeed he is. He's stirring people away from the incorrect way of thinking concerning God's purpose. For finding this man a pestilence and a stirrer of insurrections among all the Jews who are on the inhabited earth, besides a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. Now listen, he goes to Jerusalem. This is an interesting accusation, I think. Think about this. He goes to Jerusalem. This is the home of the ecclesia in Jerusalem, right? Headed up by Peter, James, and John. Especially James. He's ruling the movement in Jerusalem at this time. And James has no real love of Paul's work. And these guys don't even harass Peter, James, and John at this time. They're harassing Paul. They're accusing Paul of being a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. They're not accusing Peter, James, and John of this crap. They're giving them a free pass. What are the dynamics that are going on here, really? Read between the lines. Look behind the scene. What is going on here, really? Why are they apparently content with the sect of the Nazarenes that's residing in Jerusalem, that's not causing any real trouble, but when Paul gets there, he's causing so much trouble in their minds that they've got him bound up and before the governor Felix. He's a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. You see my query here? This is big stuff, I think. Verse 6. He's the ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes who tries to profane the sanctuary also, of whom we lay hold. And apparently there's no verse 7 in the ancient texts. I don't know what verse 7 is in the King James Version, but if you want to look it up, can you post it in the comments? Either on the sidebar, or if you're watching this later on, post it there. And also, I wanted to tell you, you guys, to feel free to, if you find some, if you're listening to this later on after the live stream, if you find something that's interesting to you, put a note about it in the comments section so people can, jump ahead if they want to, and also you can agree with my assessment or disagree. Anyway, so comments are always fun. Okay, so there's no verse 7, verse 8. From whom you yourself will, by examining him, be able to recognize all of these things concerning which we are accusing him. All right, let's slow down here. And I think this is a big bullshit argument. Why would Felix care about these things of Jewish law or Jewish culture? So let's try this again. Most mighty Felix, okay? We are so happy that you're ruling us. Verse 3. We are so happy that you are ruling us, Felix. Verse 4. Now lest I may be hindering you still more. Remember, this is the orator. This is not the chief priest. The chief priest is apparently stupid. Now, lest I may be hindering you still more, I am entreating you, Felix, to hear us concisely in your leniency for finding this man a pestilence and a stirrer of insurrections. Now, that is an accusation that might intrigue Felix because he wants to rule as the governor of this region, right? And he doesn't want to deal with insurrections. And if they can accuse this Paul of being a treasonous fellow, even in this day and age, you see the news, and it's almost like a nightmare on Elm Street if somebody's accused of being treasonous. And an insurrection like that we had most recently in January at the so-called insurrection in D.C., and I didn't care much about it, but from what I saw, everybody was peaceful. It looked like just walking in circles. But, oh my God, we must be fearful of insurrections. So they're using this insurrection business to accuse Paul, a stir of insurrections, okay? For finding this man a pestilence and a stir of insurrections among all the Jews who were on the inhabited earth. Paul has told them earlier, screw you guys, I'm going to the nations. And they didn't even, first of all, they didn't like that at all, that he was going to go to the nations. And now they totally forget about that. And they say that he's a stirrer of insurrections among all the Jews on the inhabited earth. He hasn't gone to all the Jews. And he especially got in trouble because he's bound and determined to be presenting the evangel of grace to the Gentiles. These guys are just full of accusations, and they don't have to make sense. That's what accusers are quite often. The Karens of this world will accuse you of all kinds of horse shit. And whether they're true or not, or their view is bent, and here the Jews' view is bent. But besides, Paul is a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes who tries to profane the sanctuary. Now, how did he try to profane the sanctuary? What? At one time, remember back a couple of chapters, they accused him of bringing a Greek into the sanctuary, and he did not bring Timothy or whoever it was into the sanctuary. They just accused him of it, and they started a riot over that matter. All right, there's no verse 7. Pin it somewhere in here so we can see what this verse 7 was. according to the King James. Verse 8, from whom you yourself will, by examining him, be able to recognize all of these things. And the truth is, when Felix examines him, he's going to see just how much bullshit these guys are full of, concerning which we are accusing him. Now, verse 9. The Jews also agreed, alleging these things to have been thus. Besides Paul, the governor, nodding him to speak, answered. Ooh, now we're going to get something cool. Paul said, being versed in the fact that for many years you are a judge in this nation, cheerfully I am defending that which concerns myself, at your being able to recognize that it is not more than 12 days since I went up to worship in Jerusalem, and they neither found me in the sanctuary arguing with anyone or making a concourse of the throng, nor in the synagogues, nor at the city, nor can they present evidence to you for that concerning which they are now accusing me. Yet I am avowing this to you, that according to the way in which they are terming a sect, thus I am offering divine service to the hereditary God. Wow, what is that? What is the hereditary God? You guys got any ideas? I am offering divine service to the I think it means the traditional God that we regularly worship. Sorry, back to the script. Yet I am avowing this to you, that according to the way which they are terming a sect, thus I am offering divine service to the hereditary God, believing all that is written according to the law and the prophets. Whoa, baby. Paul is believing all that is written according to the law and the prophets, and these guys claiming that they love the law and the prophets haven't even brought it up one time yet. They're just accusing him of being a stirrer of insurrections. 15. Having an expectation in God, which these themselves also are anticipating, that there shall be a resurrection which is impending for both the just and the unjust. Uh-oh. Shall we stop on this? There shall be a resurrection which is impending. Not happening yet. This is what we believe. This is what our hereditary God has informed us about. It's a resurrection. It's good news because it's for the just and the unjust. Now, Paul doesn't take us down that fanciful road that this resurrection of the unjust is for the purpose of putting them in the lake of fire and burning them forever. It seems to be he's still in this context. So far, it looks like this resurrection is a good thing for all who get resurrected, right? Because, remember, the Bible actually teaches that the dead know nothing. That it's better to be a living dog than a dead lion. So the resurrection is quite important in their purview, because apart from the resurrection, they're just dead. Having an expectation in God, which these themselves, these Pharisees, these Sadducees who are harassing me, these guys also are anticipating, at least the Pharisees are, that there shall be a resurrection which is impending for both the just and the unjust. In this I am exerting myself also, to have a conscience which is no stumbling block toward God and men continually. Now after the lapse of more years, I came along doing alms for my nation and bringing approach presents in which they found me purified in the sanctuary, not with a throng, nor with a tumult. Now there were some Jews from the province of Asia on whom it was binding to be present before you and to accuse me if they may have anything against me. Yet these themselves, or let these themselves, say what injury they found when I stood in the Sanhedrin, or concerning this one voice with which I cry out, standing among them, that concerning the resurrection of the dead, I am being judged by you today. Man, don't you get the feeling that the chief priest and that orator of his regrets letting Paul speak at all? No wonder they wanted to beat his mouth, because he's pretty fluent at making a good argument for what's really going on. And what's going on? Concerning the resurrection of the dead, I am being judged today by you. The resurrection starts with Christ. Verse 22. Now, Felix made them postpone being acquainted more exactly with what concerns this way, saying, whenever Captain Lysias may come down, I shall investigate your affairs. He prescribes to the centurion that he is to be kept. Besides, he is having his ease, and to prevent no one of his own to be subservient to him. Now, after some days, Felix, coming along with Drusilla, his wife, being a Jewish, sends after Paul and hears him concerning the faith in Christ Jesus. Wow. I think this is the first occasion in the Bible that mentions Christ Jesus in that order instead of Jesus Christ. I think that's striking. We might want to explore it sometime. In fact, let's read it again. Now, after some days, Felix, coming along with Drusilla, his wife, being a Jewess, sends after Paul and hears him concerning the faith in Christ Jesus. Now, as he is arguing concerning righteousness and self-control and the impending judgment, Felix, becoming affrighted, answered, now go, yet give occasion, I shall be calling for you. Given occasion, I shall be calling for you. Now, at the same time, expecting also that money will be given him by Paul. These government guys are always living for bribes, aren't they? That money will be given him by Paul, wherefore, sending after him more frequently, he also conversed with him. Now, 2 years being fulfilled, Felix got a successor, Porcius Festus. Besides wanting to curry favor with the Jews, Felix left Paul bound. So he was in jail there for 2 years. And Felix, the governor, kept bringing him back and back and back, hoping to get a bribe. Oh my God, aren't we all predictable in all of our lots in life? The Sanhedrin, the Pharisees are damn predictable. Felix is predictable. And Paul is the only one here who is not exactly predictable, because he is really bucking the trend by insisting that Christ rose from the dead. It's getting him in all kinds of trouble, but he won't back down, thankfully. I guess in some way, when we're looking at the situation, we can say Paul is predictable, but it's more predictable to go with the flow and not throw yourself into a situation where you know that you're going to be in chains, locked up for years, maybe beaten, maybe stoned, maybe 39 lashes across your back 5 times. Paul's behavior, you might say is predictable, but no, not in any sense that I would know as predictable. This guy is nuts. He must have faith. I am honored to study Paul's letters. All right. It's almost 7 o'clock. 10 minutes to 7. Come on in, baby. Or let me know in the comments that you're here. What a majesty of a book this book of Acts is. In all good conscience, I have used my citizenship for God until this day. For it is written, concerning the expectation and resurrection of the dead am I being judged. For Sadducees indeed are saying there is no resurrection, nor messenger, nor spirit. Yet the Pharisees are avowing both. Oh, have mercy. St. Tommy is here. Nothing evil are we finding in this man. Now, if a spirit or messenger speaks to him, courage. For as you certify to that which concerns me in Jerusalem, thus you must testify in Rome. That is the prophecy here.
That was the Lord that said that?
Yes.
Standing beside him, the Lord.
Uh-huh.
How about them apples?
How about them apples? You are going to Rome whether you like it or not.
Wow. I heard about the Lord standing when Stephen got stoned, but I've never really heard the Lord, stood beside Paul. How about them apples? That's wild.
Yeah, and he didn't unveil all of the religious material that we would think. No, he just said, you're going to testify concerning me in Rome.
I bet that instilled confidence, I guess, down the line. Is the shipwreck yet to come, or is that in the past?
I think it's yet to come.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it's yet to come. What do you remember about the shipwreck?
Not a whole lot.
As I remember, there's in that shipwreck scene, the Roman guards were afraid that they had escaped in the shipwreck, and they had to calm them down, saying, "We're still here." But we'll see.
That kind of like when he was in jail.
Right.
Paul was pretty confident that he was going to survive. I remember that. They threw a lot of stuff overboard.
Right. Ooh, a stir of insurrections.
Daggone, Paul. Gee whiz.
In years gone by, I have found it a great delight, like to go among Christians and stir them up, ask them questions that just annoy the hell out of them. Like, if God wants us to forgive our enemies, why is he going to burn his enemies in hell forever? Anyway, so that kind of is a stir of insurrection mentality here, and I see that Paul had a lot of fun by presenting something so wild to the Pharisees. Yes, there is this resurrection. You guys say you believe, and it's now started with the Nazarene, the King of the Jews. the Christ Jesus. And they said, no, not yet. We don't want Christ yet. We don't want this resurrection happening yet. We want it to be in the future so we can maintain control for a lot longer.
Proclaiming grace gets you into trouble.
Right. Because that sure takes control out of the hands of those who are not proclaiming grace.
Mm-hmm.
What's on the order for today? What are you having for breakfast?
A 2-egg sandwich.
I see. You're making me hungry just talking about it.
You gonna do Acts 23?
Let's see. Tomorrow, maybe.
I hear you.
This is Acts 23 and 24.
I mean 25.
25 tomorrow. 25 tomorrow. There's a lot of drama going on in this book of Acts.
Those Jews were a pissy bunch, dangerous bunch.
Man, they're almost ununderstandable. It just makes you raise your eyebrow like, do I really want to be a part of their group?
They sure sucked up to what's his name, didn't they? God,
didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen such brown nosing?
Of which we are grateful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, liars, bold liars. You know.
You know, I wonder if you're in Felix's position and these suck-ups come to you, don't you actually despise them right off the bat without saying so?
Probably.
They're simping on you.
Right.
What's that word? Obsequious. Yeah, I like that. They're obsequious. We love you, Felix. You're wonderful. We'll kiss your feet.
Trying to ingratiate themselves.
Yeah. Max Borges. Hey, listen, I appreciate your comments on the shows. You're a studious fellow. Nero was Caesar. Let's see, hold on. Nero was Caesar then. What, during Felix's governorship, Nero was the Caesar? Okay. Although I think Paul died under the Caesar Galba. How many Caesars was there, Max? One time I wrote an essay and I posted it, I think on my Ace Theo blog, but I also posted it on LinkedIn maybe, or wherever I was hanging out at the time, called Two JCs, one is hated and one is loved. And I made the argument that Jesus Christ and Julius Caesar both had their JC for initials. But for some odd reason, people hate Jesus Christ, but he never killed anybody. However, Julius Caesar was a murderous asshole, and a lot of people died under his reign, but we're not mad about him. We're not mad about Julius Caesar, but we're still mad about Jesus Christ for some strange reason. What the hell is going on with humanity? Why do they give Julius Caesar a pass, but not the other JC guy? He got the cross. Julius had to get a knife in the back in order to put him out of the way. It was a fun little essay, if I do say so myself. Because there are a lot of folks out there who dismiss the Bible altogether and Jesus Christ altogether and think that there's nothing to see here, folks. Move along, move along. What are they worried about? They don't dismiss Julius Caesar or any of the murderous warlords down through the history, like Franklin Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, Abraham Lincoln. They don't dismiss those warlords. No, they're venerated. All of the Caesars of the world are venerated. But concerning the man of peace, can't have that, baby.
Well, ain't you talking smack about Roosevelt?
He sure was loved by.
Even the law says don't declare evil of your leaders. But
All right, yeah.
I guess he's gone, and you're not under
Beat
the law.
his mouth. Beat his mouth.
I know the law is fulfilled, please. But wait, there's another apostolic exhortation. Well, I guess that would apply to Biden. Pray for your leaders, I think it is. Yes.
Yeah.
And being that Roosevelt has passed, it is not of our time, no reason to pray for him, I guess. So carry on, according to your vision. Very good.
According to my vision, Roosevelt was the second worst president we've ever had. And I judge presidents mathematically. You know, there's some people who look at the Bible and they try and study the numbers of the Bible and come up with all these codes. You know, there's like 17 letters in this word, and therefore that means something this way. And if you look at it upside down, there's six periods over here, but I do look at presidents mathematically. I add up the number of dead bodies, and if you have a lot of dead bodies, I figure you're a bad president. So that means Abraham Lincoln was our worst president because there was a lot of dead bodies under him, and the math proves it, you know. And so that would mean our greatest presidents are those that nobody ever remembers or thinks are great, like Grover Cleveland.
Oh, Jimmy Carter.
Oh, yeah. Not many people died under Jimmy Carter, but, you know, a few.
Did Billy die under Jimmy Carter?
Billy who?
Carter.
Wasn't he a beer drinking guy?
Yeah. I don't know. There wasn't a war under Carter. There was just the Ayatollah. That's right.
Right. There was, a helicopter was shot
failed.
down.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
it. It wrecked in a sandstorm.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So Max says, when Paul appealed to Caesar, it was Nero. And that made the Jews not carry on with this accusation. They would have to present it before Nero. And maybe they didn't want to go to all the way to Rome. Because people who love power, they also love convenience.
That must be tough.
Oh, Max, my compliment on your little icon here. What do they call this icon? Emoji? No. Anyway, it looks cool. 2016, a book and a...
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah. Yeah, an avatar, right. Cool looking.
It looks like a blue grapefruit slice. What is it?
I don't know. Maybe it's a blue grapefruit slicer trying to rightly cut the word of truth.
There it is. In 2016, was that your bar mitzvah? What's that all about?
There's your invitation, buddy. Come in here and straighten us out.
That's got to be a Bible down there. A holy Bible.
Mm-hmm. On nice paper.
Yes.
What do they call that kind of paper?
Rice.
Rice paper?
Parchment? No.
India paper?
Dioxin? No. What? Blanco.
The wheel is a zodiac map. The book is a Bible.
Damn, that's brave.
Oh.
Scorpio.
There's so much symbology.
Yes. I neither condemn nor endorse. Scorpio.
Wow. That was really satisfying.
That
Acts.
was. Thank you.
Yeah, there's so much that went on to get us here, you know. And you know what? Paul probably would not have written those three precious letters that we love, Ephesians, Colossians, Philippians. You know, he probably wouldn't have written them if he wasn't sitting in jail for years. Because, you know, when you're in jail with no television and no weight set, maybe somebody will bring you a quill and some parchment.
And no internet.
No internet, right? Yeah.
Gosh.
And and the other prisoners are not that interesting to talk to. So you might as well write down your insights, your revelation, your fears, your hopes. Oh,
you want to go? You want to go tag team Tog over at Tog's live stream?
Is he there?
He's there.
All right.
Does that mean yes?
Yeah, we'll do it.
So
Thanks for joining us today, brothers and sisters.
God bless you.
And if you came in late, just start this damn thing over and you'll get your dose of Acts 23 and 24. And tomorrow we'll do 25 at least.
This is a blessed thing. It's not a damn thing. Don't believe him. Don't believe him about that. It's blessed.
Okay, this blessed thing. Because we've been trying to weave our way through Acts and pick up any type of gleanings that we can. And holy smoke, there are a lot of gleanings in the book of Acts. There's particularly noticeable, to me anyway, that the free will lingo is just not there. And the hints that God is going to do something gracious with the Gentiles apart from law is all over the book of Acts. And the whole thing is premised on Christ's resurrection, because Christ meets the boys in chapter 2 in Jerusalem, and he presents, it's chapter 1. It starts out, chapter 1, verse 3. He presents himself alive with many proofs. And I think when we were looking at that chapter, I think I made the argument that thank God he didn't send Christ to the earth today, in the day of internet and everybody's got a cell phone, and in the day and age of Photoshop, because we would seriously doubt this resurrection thing, because it'd be so easy to say, oh, it was photoshopped. But because God sent him 2,000 years ago, when eyewitnesses were, the means of establishing a truth, and the preposterousness of the resurrection meant that who in the hell would invent this kind of crap? To me, that makes it even more believable and interesting. Because no religion in the world, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, they just don't go there concerning the resurrection, because they all secretly believe that when you die, you're not really dead. And so it's just not fascinating to them. And so when Christ rises from the dead and presents himself alive with many proofs, it's like really going against the mentality of all of humanity, because we all believe typically that the dead are not dead. It gives us hope to think that they're in heaven and not in hell, but in nirvana, and they're living, still living, but now they're happy. Oh, he's at peace. No, they're dead. The dead are dead, and apart from the resurrection, There's not much going on. And so the resurrection of Christ 2,000 years ago seems to be more strategic in my mind than a resurrection today. And thank God. That's what I'm saying. Thank God that he was raised then. And the closest thing we have to photography of the matter is the so-called Shroud of Turin, if that thing is real. We're not required to believe the Shroud of Turin. We trust in these written messages that we call the Bible. Anyway, oh yeah, I'm supposed to get out of here, I thought. So thanks for stopping in and letting me spend some time with you, and you spending time with me. And Max, I like it when you drop in and post. Grace to you.